Imagine a world where doctors help you get healthy and not just respond to your sickness. A world where experts empower you to feel good and bring peace, joy, and love to yourself and the world. An integrative approach to health. Dr. Arlene DeHomko is on a mission to wake medicine up and raise the bar of health with her show, The MultiDimensional MD. Call 678-495-4345 to talk to her live on air, or put your comments on Facebook Live at UI Media Network with your questions, concerns, suggestions, or just to say hello. Don't forget to like and share and spread the message as she helps activate the natural healing force within all of us. Let's join Dr. Arlene DeHomko in bringing spirit back to medicine on the MultiDimensional MD.
Everyone, thank you for joining us. This is episode 7 of the MultiDimensional MD, Waking Up Medicine. And I'm your host, Dr. Arlene DeHomko. I'm an integrative physician, pediatrician, and cranial osteopath. And we have a great show for you today. We are going to be talking to my good friend, Maudy Fowler. And the show is called A Moment with Maudy, Embracing Love. And it's really because it's all we ever have is this moment. I know there's been a lot of confusing information in the world and a lot of chaos with COVID-19. Just a lot of things going on for a lot of people. And so we're going to address spiritual hygiene today and how to care for yourselves and your loved ones. And we're also going to be talking about processing grief, because there's all different kinds of grief going on right now, whether loss of loved ones, grieving old life, just grieving where you used to be, where you're able to go out freely and see people. So there's so many different types of grief, and there's the high school students that are grieving the loss of their ceremonies and events that are at the end of the year. So we are going to be discussing all of that in our way. But first, let me introduce you to Maudy. Let me read you a little bit about her. So Maudy Fowler is a mystic messenger who listens to the whispers of angels and provides people with choices and information through angel whispers. With heaven's approval, the messages are delivered from loved ones who have passed to assist the ones left behind. She has the gift of prophecy, and her mother also was gifted with the gift of healing and prophecy. Maudy is also an award-winning author and inspirational speaker. Her books include Angel Whispers and Angel Messages. I'll hold both of them up right here. If you don't have those, these are really great books, and we have them here in our office. I often gift them out to people. Both of these have been translated into multiple languages. Her book, Heavenly Messages, co-authored with Gail Hunt, won the prestigious Best Inspirational International Book of 2008 in Europe. And that's over fellow nominees, Dr. Wayne Dyer and Deepak Chopra. And I'm also looking forward to Matt and Gail's poetry book coming out very soon called Angel Love from Above. So Maudy is originally from the Netherlands, but she now lives in Charlotte, North Carolina with her family. She travels all over the world, giving empowerment presentations to help people turn their luggage into a backpack. You can find her on Instagram at Maudy, Maudy.Fowler, Fowler, and her website, Maudy.com. So welcome, Maudy.
Hi.
Hi.
Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you for being here. I love it.
Thank you for inviting me, and thank you all for listening in. I'm so honored to be here and to talk to you all. What a joy. So, Dr.
Oh my
Arlene,
gosh.
Thank you again. This is so cool.
Yes, we always have great conversations on the phone or in the groups that we have in my office. And now I'm so excited to be able to offer this live for everyone here. So I know you've been very
so much.
Yeah, I know you've been so busy on the phone with so many people and dealing with COVID-19 and the quarantine and this cocoon time. What do you feel like is going on in the world? Is there a deeper meaning behind this pandemic underlying everything that's going on?
Actually, there's too much. And before we go into this, I, from myself, want to take this opportunity to thank you all for listening in to Dr. Arlene's beautiful and awesome show. But also, I want to thank all the first responders, doctors, nurses, all the people who are taking care of so many people around them and the patients. It's just, you are all so much in my prayers. Law enforcement, police department, fire department, all of you, and all of you at home who take care of elderly and so many people. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to make this first possible. And yes, so many things going on, Dr. Arlene, so much. There is this strong energy, and especially with so many people going to heaven. Now I just saw the number, some 80,000. That is a stairway to heaven. That is actually so much to process of the energy fields, and my prayers are every day for those left behind and those now, still called home. Why is this happening? God is so much in charge, and God is always here with us. So the prayers are so strongly received. Answers, it's actually hard to answer this. For myself, I can only tell you, you all your prayers have been received in heaven. And I always say, turn to faith and your fear will disappear. So is there really an answer why this is happening? It's, I'm just in silence of it all, because it's such a sad time. But we can actually embrace people with love, and that's our topic to what you and me are going to address. And love is the key that will help us to move forward and embrace people with that big love, those especially who are left behind.
And I have this great message that you wrote on Facebook here. Do you mind if I read it out for everyone?
Oh, no, go right ahead.
I don't think everyone's seen it. So, this is talking about walking into the month of May, because there's so much going on through the tough times and challenges and trials and tribulations. We are tested in our patience and our faith. And you wrote to meditate and pray and give yourself purpose and meaning in your life. Stay connected, even though we have to live disconnected to protect ourselves. God is giving us time to reconnect with ourselves. Therefore, it's the time to get in touch with the self and give meaning to what you can do for yourself first, and then others. Love for yourself will help you through, because God is love and you are love. Everything in heaven is documented. God is watching us and how we are handling ourselves in life's challenge. Why are so many people in the stairway to heaven? Because they were on his list and they were chosen. Again, pray to fulfill your mission and give yourself purpose and meaning. My mission continues with the purpose of guiding you through one person at a time, even though phone calls are intense. Taking care of those now left behind is to give meaning to their lives. Always look at the strength and never the weakness. So I think that I really loved that, what you wrote, because we don't really know the whole why. We can only meditate on it and listen to that stillness. And because many of it, we have to physically distance ourselves from people, we have to turn inwards and we have to address ourselves. So it is a great time to do that. And exactly. You mentioned, that stairway to heaven. What is that? What do you mean by that?
The stairway to heaven is like the vision that was actually shown to me in 2018. And Gail is my friend of 20 years and my co-author of all the books, and she does the presentations and inspirational, motivational speaking with me. So she has written a lot of things down, and we were on our way from a presentation home at 10:30, and she has written this as a chapter for a new book. And for me, God has shown me, I was told her, many things, but one of the things that stands out and is very vivid to me was there was a huge, beautiful angel. And I'm sure you're all familiar with Avatar, right? So it was this beautiful angel, as big as an Avatar entity, person, whatever, that may be. And she was actually at the stairway all the way up. And there were people kind of like, an escalator going up.
Mm-hmm.
And so many, and so many, and so many. And I knew that was the stairway to heaven. I just couldn't place it. I couldn't place it why I was very excited and happy. I could jump for joy. I had goosebumps, and I was so happy, like I've been drinking. I was drunk, but I wasn't. We were on the way home. And so that's the stairway. That's what I refer to as that angel being on top and holding it getting all the people from the stairway. And it went on and on. And it's just, and that's what I'm trying to say with the stairway to heaven. So the stairway to heaven continues.
Mm-hmm. So, and you said you felt, but you felt filled with joy. So that's interesting because it's like so many people crossing over, but there was joy.
There was joy because they went to heaven. Of course, there were two sides to it. Okay, for me, I felt like crying. But then I felt like joy because I saw this beautiful Avatar-looking, beautiful angel, beautiful, just kind of like, a mother of pearl wings. And so she was right on top and grabbed so many hands, and that's what I saw. It was kind of like a flash of a second, but then I felt like crying. I felt like I was so sad. So those two sides of, that positive and that negative, and that's what's taken place right now, Dr. Arlene, with so many people left behind and with so many people called home.
Yes, I feel that from both sides. As you're saying it, I'm like that, gosh, there's so much left behind who are suffering, but the ones that are crossed over, they feel the joy there too. And the angels that are taking care of them. But for those that are left behind, there's so much sadness and there's fear. And how do you get yourself out of fear? How do you lift yourself up when you're down?
Okay, this is what I do daily, okay? For you all who are listening in, for you all who know me, I am practically on the phone from morning till evening, assisting people who are left behind. How do I help them relieve the luggage and turning into, as much as I can, backpacks, because that is actually now in this time a little bit too big. So, for me, I can only work with little steps with them, and that's what I'm doing. So for me, if you all are new and listening in, I am tuning into your voice. I am letting you know that your loved ones are okay. You say the name and spell the name, and I'm immediately in people's business or those who are in heaven with approval from God. This is all faith-based, and that's why we say, how do you lift yourself up after, that happening? It has to be 40 days before I can connect. I'm a clear hearing, so that means I'm not a psychic or a medium. I'm clear hearing. I listen in to those who are on the other line. So, call it a three-way calling, So it is the humans on the phone and the people who are in heaven. How do you lift the people up who are on the phone? Is to let them know, we need to, at one point in time, go, like you said, through a mourning and grieving process. Learn how to, take your time to go through that. Don't feel pushed because it is a lot. I had people who lost two people, with one day and the day next, corona related. So it is just too much for many. How do you help them? We can only comfort them by letting them know, just pray. And it's God is always there. The angels are there. Feel comforted with, what they put their arms around you, because you don't see them doesn't mean they're not here. So therefore it is actually taken away a little bit. And, you can only ease as much but it's only for me to listen in to what I can say and how I comfort them. And that's a little bit of taking away that luggage that, they have with them. And of course, it is a long process.
Yes. Maudy, we're going to keep talking about this after just a brief break. Everyone, if you're just joining us, this is Dr. Arlene Diamco, the MultiDimensional MD, here with my guest, Maudy Fowler, mystic, author, angel messenger, and we will be right back after this break.
This is Kurt Arsenault of Arsenault Advisory Group. Most of us never think we'll get divorced. Unfortunately, half of marriages will end in divorce. Children are always the first priority, but getting your finances in order will need to be addressed. The first step is to get an assessment of where you are financially. Will you keep your home? Do one or both of you have a 401k or pension? Who will pay for the kids' college education? Will you split your debt liabilities? These are just a few things to consider when thinking about divorce. Visit arsenaultadvisory.com and download our free ebook titled 6 Things to Do Before You Get Divorced. Don't wait. Visit arsenaultadvisory.com today.
Hi, welcome back to the MultiDimensional MD. I'm Dr. Arlene Diamco, and just a quick hello to our friends at WDJY 99.1 FM and WTTA 101.2 FM in Kentucky and Ohio. I'm here with my guest, my friend, Maudy Fowler, who's an inspirational speaker, an author, a mystic, an angel messenger. And we were just talking about lifting people through grief and through suffering, through fear. And we're going to continue that conversation because I had a lot of people send in questions about that. So, Maudy, I'm going to ask you one of these questions that got emailed in. During the lockdown, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. During the lockdown, people have been crossing over alone, at least physically alone, without family members present. And there was a question from someone, are they really alone, or are they surrounded by loved ones that have already passed, maybe now more than ever?
Exactly, you already answered that. And that is so beautiful. And I thank the person who sent this question in, because there are so many things that people are wondering, especially about this question. So I appreciate the question. Anyways, yes, when people are so much by themselves and with themselves, no, they're never alone. They don't cross over laying there. They're already loved ones from heaven who are picking them up, so to speak. So they see, I just actually had this morning a phone call, and it was already past 40 days, and she says, but I couldn't be there for my dad. So I said, that's don't worry. I said, because your dad was already picked up. And so I mentioned the name from an aunt, who was already there and passed maybe about 5 years ago. She acknowledged this as the daughter, and says, Maudy, she says, it was just so strange, and she was so sad. It made her at ease, knowing that her dad did not die alone, because he did not even know in many ways that he passed and crossed over, than only to say, and that's what I heard, what I hear I need to say from those who are crossing over. So I could tell her that he actually didn't know that he died, because he saw his family and a good friend of his. And he says, what are you all doing here? And then they were laughing up a storm, and they said, you're here now with us. So it gave her peace, and she actually, this daughter, gave her peace, and she says, Maudy, you don't know what this means. So, there's already a little bit taken away from that part of the luggage.
And it
so
feels
beautiful.
like, it is so beautiful. Now, people's traditions have been somewhat disrupted just because they're not able to get together and do the services like usual. But it sounds like, even if you can't be physically together, just the act of thinking about the person or doing some tradition in a different way can still be helpful too. And
exactly, just
because it's not all about the physical. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
And see, because they are old, they did not leave us. They are so much here with us, those who crossed over. They're actually closer than they've ever been.
And so that's
all
part.
Those who
yes.
went to heaven are closer than they've ever been. And people sense and feel that, through the goosebumps, through the chills, and through the things that they, the loved ones in heaven will actually give you all signs and let you know, like butterflies, like birds, like blue jays, cardinals, and the favorite things that they can actually show them through images. And that is so beautiful. And, because people don't know, they want to hear a little bit, see a little bit from their loved ones. And see, Gail and I, my co-author, my friend, we have written in Angel Messages the life-guiding signs in how your loved ones in heaven communicate with you. You want to hear something. You want to see something. Some people say,
that was another big. That was another big question that people had asked. How do you know if it's a message from a loved one? So someone had written in, while they were walking on the beach on Mother's Day, that her family had found a dime, and her daughter said, when you see a dime, it's her grandma saying hello. Her grandma that had crossed over. And so people are asking, how do you know that these are the signs, and how do you know they're true?
And see, this is how they work. When you all think about your loved ones in heaven, it is actually the vice versa. It's the loved ones thinking about you. And so that triggers, it's the telepathic wire, okay? Same as here on Earth. When I think about you, Dr. Aline, I tell you, you're on the phone, right? So then I say, hey, I was just thinking about you, you're on the phone. Well, that's the same and even stronger with your loved ones in heaven. So how do they let you know that they are thinking about you or that they heard your thoughts? Because your thoughts have been received in heaven. Your prayers are all received in heaven. Your loved ones in heaven only speak from thought to thought. So that means if you want to hear something, see something, you pick up that dime, you pick up that penny. And isn't a penny a phrase like a penny for your thoughts? I believe so. So in my book, and when I stand in front of you, when I talk to you, I take it further. Look at the year on the penny. Look at the year on the dime. And the dime represents, actually, it's also in Angel Messages Life Guiding Science book, the dime represents a question that you might have been walking around in your mind, and that they want to let you know, I've heard you, so you're right on the dime. You see?
I love that.
So
yes.
Things.
Yes. And
see,
it's communicating.
Once you know it, yes.
It's like the spirit level coming down to the physical level too, and all kind of and integrating in that way. But I love that the telepathy as well, because it's just like spirit to spirit, and kind of even bypasses the physical, and faster than email, faster than texting. So yeah, that's really neat. And when you feel those goosebumps and feel that those kind of butterflies.
Exactly.
So,
and also to hook in on this conversation, taking it a little bit further. So when you all, recognize, because it's a matter of recognizing, right? It's a matter of having the clarity of mind to see how they actually communicate with you and how to keep that line open, okay? So they actually will work through you to give you then purpose and meaning for why they are called home and why you are left behind, the person then. Does that make sense? You see?
Yes.
So the people then who deal with the loved ones from heaven, like you said, have to go to that spiritual healing and the grieving and the process. But then don't let that part, control you. Because then you dive into an escalation of depression, and you all cannot go there, people. You can't go there. You have to look up so you can build up. And again, go through that mourning and grieving when it comes back. Cry, scream, yell. But then have your silence. And then give yourself purpose and meaning in how to maybe continue a certain a passion, a certain purpose, a certain way of moving forward with what they could not finish. Who knows? So you have that in time, that aha moment, and that way of feeling, oh yeah, I got to do something. Set up a foundation, maybe help people, surfing and assisting, and that is also an escalation. So the positive can take an escalation that is actually never ending.
Yeah, so it's giving permission first permission to acknowledge and go through your grieving process and to feel, so that you can look up. And those signs that are coming through, they're helping you, give you some momentum towards your purpose, to let you follow those steps, to fulfill what you're being called to fulfill. So it's neat. Yeah. So it'd be like great to think about when we get those signs, it's like to think about what we were actually just thinking about and what it could mean. When you see those signs, it's like whatever is in that moment or whatever it reminds you of is important. So it will give you a hint of where to take your steps to help you move forward.
And then when that is a little bit, when you want to move forward, how to embrace the joy again is to find that little platform of joy and laughter, because that is healing. That is life's remedy. And even though it is so hard for so many people, try to find that little spot there, try to find that joy and that what gives you, a little bit of laughter, to embrace that again. And, it's kind of like you have to repeat your own circle and cycle of mourning, grieving, and finding happiness and joy to see which way you can go. But very important is give yourself that time and that silence, and give yourself that moment. Like you all now have a Dr. Arlene and Maudy moment. Perfect, because you're listening in. You see? So when you listen in, the more that we pray, the more that we turn to faith, the more our fear will disappear. And the more we embrace that big love, because, faith is love. And we're all from God, and God is love. And, I know it is so hard for so many people. I mean, daily, I have these cases now daily. Am I overwhelmed? Again, it is what I allow. And even in my hectic time, that's something that I need to make time for me. So it is what I allow.
And there's so many different kinds of grief that are being processed. And I think about, the high school students especially the seniors that have been very sad about missing their events. And I mean, different levels and different layers of grief. But I think that a lot of that, what you said, applies there too, is just giving some space to allow those feelings to process, but then to look for the joy and to look up and to find things that are funny and to get together and connect in ways even though we can't physically. So we're going to continue. We're going to continue this conversation. We're just going to take another quick break here, and let me just tell you, if you can follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Spreaker, and other podcasting platforms as UI Media Network. And are you ready to build the life of your dreams? Join master coach and author Jessica Joins, host of Soul Purpose, to get your most important soul purpose questions answered. Simply write to her at contact@uimedianetwork.org to tell her what you're struggling with. And you might get a chance to be featured on Jessica's show live. We'll be right back. You're watching the MultiDimensional MD Waking Up Medicine. I'm Dr. Arlene Diamco with my guest, Maudy Fowler, inspirational speaker, mystic, and angel messenger. See you in just a moment.
At Heiser Orthodontics, we understand that your smile is a big deal for both kids and adults. We have the latest technology and state-of-the-art equipment. But honestly, what makes us unique is our patient experience. And we are not the only people saying this.
Heiser Orthodontics is amazing.
Superb.
Trustworthy. Compassionate.
A friendly place where they know what they're doing, and that's what I like about it.
We are a family-owned private practice where kids are valued, parents have a voice, and the entire Heiser team puts the patient first. Discover the Heiser Orthodontics difference. Call 470-330-9083 for a free consultation today.
Hi, welcome back. This is Dr. Arlene Diamco. You are watching the MultiDimensional MD Waking Up Medicine, and I'm talking to my guest, Maudy Fowler, who's an inspirational speaker, mystic, angel messenger, and author. And I want to talk a bit more about spiritual hygiene and addressing confusion, because there is so much chaos going on in the world. And I've been getting questions of like, how do you stay clear? How do you navigate this right now? And so one of the questions emailed in was, with so many conflicting reports about the world's current state, how do I discern the best decisions for myself and my family? I mean, this is great because it's like, what do you do when you're confused? How do you know what's true? Maudy, what do you think?
That's a lot, right?
Yes, I know. I was like, this is a big one.
Yeah, exactly. But you see, this is where we first have to think about ourselves. Remember the flight attendant, okay?
Yes.
Put the oxygen mask on yourself first before you put it on others. So take that time for yourself first. That's what I, let people know. And then with confusion, it is just too much, of course, of listening in to all of that, what's going on. I would say, give yourself that moment to find something else to watch, to a good movie or something like that. And, find the joy in what is your passion. The confusion is, I always say, don't let other people's mess be your stress. Right? Because they confuse you. And so you hear me say that, and it's just, no, don't go there. So for yourself, try to see, recognize what is good for you. Listening in to others, sometimes it's best not to say anything and walk away. Just to be in your own environment with your children, with your family, and because there's already too much division going on, and too many people telling you what you have to do. And I think when you pray, you will hear actually, the voice for yourself to see which way you can go with yourself, and that is peace and quiet at some point in time, and to see what you can do to embrace that big love for yourself. What are your thoughts on that, Dr. Arlene?
Yeah, well, what I'm hearing from you is like basically get out of the friction. And for me, it's, there's so many perspectives, and there can actually be multiple truths at the same time because people are experiencing different things. They have different lives and what they've been through. And so I can see both sides of anything that's going on. And what I'd like to say is like, let's not make more issues to divide us, because this time of stillness is about each of us to go within and to actually step into that oneness through meditation, through prayer, through quiet, through finding your own peace, and to really know who you are. Because yes, part of that confusion is not knowing who you are. And when you really get still and listen, then you get to hear what your truth is. And for me, I'm actually okay with people having conflicting ideas and multiple truths and perspectives. And I see the fight even just with to wear a mask or not to wear a mask, and everyone getting upset about that. And I get it, because I know I have family and friends in the hospitals and working there and dealing with that. But then I also see people who are much farther removed and they don't understand. And so maybe they're way far in the suburbia and they're not in the hot spot. And so they're not seeing the people that are sick, and they're just feeling frustrated and wanting to get back to work and be able to support their family. So I see both sides, and I feel compassion for both sides. And so for me, it's being able to feel compassionate for everyone, that I'm able to step out of that tension and become more from a place of neutrality and non-judgment, so that I can, make my decision for myself and my family, and also be able to support anyone, no matter where they're coming from. So,
and see, I jump. That is actually, for many people, the exactly what they need to hear, because to jump into on that, that's why I believe that, with everything going on, we are all here for our own purpose, goal, and destiny. We're all here in what you just mentioned, to recognize ourselves first, to see how we can handle ourselves. And with all the things going on, it's not what happens to us, but how we handle it. And how we can receive a better way of understanding. To the fullest, we might not. But there is that little bit of clarity that gives the people an aha moment, and sometimes it is so recognizable, and that the angels or the loved ones are so much letting us know, hey, move on. We're right here. We'll show you, which way to go. And then they'll actually have to let other people know and work through other people for the person to recognize, oh, this is what they mean, and that is coming back, to prayer. And like you said, meditation and prayer and faith, it is all so powerful to, when we are getting the clarity of mind, to recognize what's in front of us and what we need to do. But ourselves first, and you're so correct, it is from the center of us. It's the meditation, it's the prayers, it's everything that gets our day started, to see then which way we need to go. And we also protect ourselves when we do that.
And it's when we say meditation and prayer, it's like it's a two-way conversation with God, the divine, and it's like it's not just putting your list of requests, but also listening to the guidance and feeling that clarity. And for when people aren't really sure where to start, with meditation and listening, it's like you can feel the ease in your body. It's like which direction, if you were to imagine going, which makes you feel more relaxed and at peace and more clear, and which direction, if you moved in terms of making a decision, makes you feel more tense and confused. So you do have to settle yourself, though, to be able to feel that, and to take a moment to have that quiet and to breathe in, so that you can start listening. And that's something that I'll do every day for myself too. And that to me is a spiritual hygiene. So it's more than just washing hands. It's tending to yourself, and when you're feeling confused, to slow down so that you can get your guidance more clearly.
Exactly, and that is the power of your own mind, and the power of faith and the power of love. Tap into that power, and I so agree with you. Everything is so much there, and you all who are listening into this, try to reach that power from within, and try to have that, control over that power of love. And of course, there's too many things that gets us, to where we look down. But please, don't look down, because then you break down. So give yourself always to look up, so you will build up. And that's what we say, embracing love. And the power of love is to love yourself first. And then you can see that we can all rise above with love, because love will conquer all.
Yes. And loving yourself first is not selfish. This is like a deep, authentic, honest kind of love. It's not what we call greed or being egotistical. This is like really loving yourself, all of you, the parts that you think are positive and the parts that you think that are not so perfect, or the negative parts, like really embracing all of you.
Exactly. And that's why I'm so grateful with all of these people who are, in the front line and helping so many people. I'm so grateful, and they are also in my prayers and all of those, who do so much to help so many people. It is just for us, what you and me do, and so many people with us, is try to reach out and comfort and give people peace and, energy and everything to keep it moving. I'm here to help those who are, who don't have, who can't feed their children, to look for a job, to help them. And like I said, my cases are kind of like, so multitasking on that matter. But you know what? God is so good to us. And as long as we have faith, our fear will disappear. And that's what I want to stress to all of you who are listening in. Have faith, therefore your fear will disappear. And always look at your strength, never ever your weakness, and then pick yourself back up. But again, how we started this conversation, Dr. Arlene, was, go through your whatever loss you're dealing with. Doesn't have to be the loss of the loved one, can be the loss of so many hardship levels,
Yes. And it's
if we can help that ourselves, and we can recognize this. Everything is a matter of recognizing and having the clarity of mind to see which way we can go with all of this. And you and Dr. Arlene, I admire and I really appreciate you for how much you are helping the people through what you do, and with so many people you have as guests to help so many people to move forward. Powerful. So powerful what you do.
It's really what the world needs right now. And what you said is like to lift up, and thank you for your support, but to look what you can do. Not to focus on what you can't do. It's like, what can you do? And even though times are different and there's lots of restrictions, there's still a lot that we can do. And it might look a little bit different, but we're still here, we're doing. And I think that's a great place for people to start. What can I do instead of what can't I do?
Exactly. And see, and look at what you do have. And so many people are that's how before this all started, they look, many people look at what they don't have, what they can do. And you're so right. And that's where we have to start, to look what we can do and who we are and what we do have, and work with what you do have. And then the courage needs to be there to open up a certain door, and when God sees what you do out of yourself, there's so many doors opened up for you. So, and that is everybody has that supernatural ability in them. But because of all of these emotions, we cannot tap into that. But we all have that, You don't have to be, having a different way to embrace people. No, it's we all have that supernatural ability in us. It's just our emotions are so much in the way that we cannot tap into it. And through, again, prayer and meditation, you can actually slowly obtain to have that clarity of mind,
Yes. So did you hear that, everybody? You all have superpowers. We all do. So we just need to tap into it.
Yes, and that's the emotions. And you're so right, because, when the emotions are in the way, usually it's caused by stress. And what did I say before? People, don't let people's mess be your stress, right? So don't go there,
Right. But we can't be stoic, and we can't squish those emotions away. We have to allow them and embrace them and process them. So it's having both that human experience, but also realizing that you you are the spiritual beings with superpowers. So we're going to take another quick break very soon. And you're watching the MultiDimensional MD. This is Dr. Arlene Diamco, Waking Up Medicine. I'm here with my guest, Maudy Fowler, who's a mystic, inspirational speaker, and travels around the world helping people. Well, not anymore, but on the phone. We are going to get right back continuing this conversation after a quick break.
Hi, I'm Greta Full, President of Golden Home Services, a premier private home care service for seniors in Georgia for almost 2 decades now. We all have parents, and I know I love my parents more than anything else in this world. And because of that, Golden Home Services makes sure we care for your parents as if they were our parents. Call 678-242-0084 anytime or visit goldenhomeservices.com to select from our range of affordable home care services.
Welcome back. This is Dr. Arlene Diamco. You are watching the MultiDimensional MD, Waking Up Medicine. I'm here with my guest, Maudy Fowler, who's my friend, a mystic, angel messenger, an inspirational speaker, and author. And Maudy, I have to ask you, because everyone's so close together in their bubble. Some people are quarantined alone, but there's families quarantined together. And so people are getting kind of triggered, and it's like very close quarters. And so what is this doing to relationships? Like sometimes people are just getting maybe more angst or more arguments. And like one of my kids said, she said, "I love you, but sometimes too much is too much."
we actually have to give ourselves our own light bulb, right? And sometimes I tell people, "Hey, people, how many angels does it take to change a light bulb, right?" It is just, it's just in front of us. Sometimes the answers are right in front of us, and we can change our own light bulb by giving ourselves, that time for ourselves. And when everything is too much, all you have to do is find your quiet spot, close the door, and then you come back with energy when you energize yourself and say, take a deep breath and say, okay, breathe in, breathe out, exhale, inhale, exhale, and then move forward. Is it easy like that? Of course not. You need to take time, You need to take your time, and that's the time you determine. That's the time for yourself to see, okay, now I have to go back and dive in it and then come up with new things because we just talked about it, I can, I will, because I am, right?
And I would tell people, schedule that time in. If you can, schedule that time in. But I have pulled in, urgent cards where I was like, Mommy just needs 5 minutes. I just go in my room or the bathroom or the closet and then just the moment to just reground, say a quick prayer, meditate, just feel yourself again, and then go back out. The world's a bit better.
And that's calmness, you have to tap into a certain calmness. And then when you give yourself time, read a good book or what have you, and then just to embrace this part of in this moment too, living in this moment. It's what we all need to do. We all need to find a way to live in the moment and live in today. And when you live in that moment, grab a good book and give yourself time. And to all of you at home, we have a poetry book coming out pretty soon.
Yes, and I'm holding up your other 2 books too. So it's a great. I actually do that to help calm myself down if I'm not in the mood to meditate or whatever. I'll just pick up. I have so many inspirational books, and I'll just pick it up and flip to a page and start reading, just to have a nice little uplift, just to see it from different perspectives, hear it in different words. And you definitely grab Maudy's books here. So Maudy, do we have something to look forward to? People are like, they can't make plans, or can we make plans? What can we do besides, we're living moment to moment. Yes, we're doing that. But at some point, everyone's like, but I want to make plans. What can we do?
Like I said, make plans. plans for tomorrow, not plans for, after a month or so. Yes, you can. You have to look forward. And I always say, but live in the moment, live in today, and then make plans for tomorrow and see where tomorrow will take you, day by day. For now, live day by day. And we can always say, when will this end? We don't have an answer. When we are sticking with, self-protection, then we can actually, stay in that little bubble. And I'll gladly share a prayer for that, for self-protection and why we are here. So,
Sure.
And this is just for us to embrace that time to live in this moment. Can we make plans? I would say, plans for tomorrow. Because living in today is so important, because today is going to be yesterday and today will be tomorrow. So
Yes.
And that's what I think for ourselves with the plans is you're going towards a purpose. You're going towards the meaning. Plans are all purpose and meaning in different ways, in different understanding. And so, with what you just read in the beginning of our conversation, I actually have a prayer for purpose and meaning. Shall I read it to you? It's
Sure,
from the
yes,
same
we would love
month,
that.
From this month.
Is this from
It says,
your...
Please, dear Lord. Pardon me?
Go ahead.
Okay. Please, dear Lord, let me recognize my purpose in life. Please, dear Lord, let me grow and thrive. Please, dear Lord, protect me and keep me in your bubble so I will stay out of trouble. Please, dear Lord, grant me to fulfill my mission and give meaning and comfort to those who hurt. And I will make you proud that you've sent me to earth.
I love that.
And see, if you are all listening, please take that time. It's on my on our Maudy Fowler and Gail Hunt official page, Facebook, for an inspirational message for the month of May, and it's at the end. So scroll down, and when you reread it, it will make sense. It'll give you strength. It'll give you the power within. It will give you the topic that Dr. Arlene and I started to talk about this. It will give you to embrace love for you, love for the people around you. And like Dr. Arlene says, it starts with all of you.
That's great. That's a great one to just stick on a little piece of paper by your bathroom mirror or something so you can remind yourself. Give yourself a calm moment.
So it's such a calm moment, and it's such a powerful prayer because it gives you then purpose and meaning for every hardship that you're facing, every hardship. And this is so important. So I'm so grateful, Dr. Arlene, to, be a guest on your show and to reach so many hearts and let the voice be heard. And, it's just so powerful. And I thank everybody who's listening. And I thank you, Dr. Arlene, for making this possible.
It's so great having you here. And we have a few minutes left. So I wanted to talk about some other things, but it's so great to just just have that purpose and meaning, and then to not have what you said is just think about plan for today and tomorrow. And so I was like, oh, well, that breaks it down into much easier bite-sized pieces. It's like, what's my purpose and meaning today? And what's my purpose and meaning tomorrow? And, it could just be that you're going through your process and letting the tears flow. And it could be that you make the plans with your family, go outside on a walk, whatever it is. It can be little things. It can be big things. One question that I wanted to ask before we wrap up is, how do we talk to our kids? How do we explain all of this to them?
Actually, the children around us are angels of God. And when they are bringing things to parents' attention, speak in their own childlike ways and explain to the best of your knowledge in an angelic way, in a childlike way, what is actually going on. Our children are so intelligent. They actually know in their way, but of course need to understand in a parent's way how to explain that. How do you explain it? It will come to you through the voices from within to let you know exactly what you need to tell them. And that's a beautiful telepathic way through the ancestors who now are in heaven. They will whisper in your ear what you need to tell your children. But only that can happen when you yourself are calm. You need to be calm. You need to be at ease and at peace. And then the words will come to you where your children then can embrace love and truth.
I believe that they are so wise. And I have 4 girls at home, so they are always delivering messages, and sometimes pretty directly. They'll write them out and with paints and stuff like that. And so for Mother's Day, a couple of phrases that they had written out one was, you be yourself, because when you are, you make powerful magic. And I was like, wow, they just got it all. And then another one had written, a tree with strong roots laughs in the face of a storm. And I was like, oh my goodness, these are the little ones that wrote that. And so it's like, who's teaching who? They're able to bring so much up, and a lot of times they have their priorities, even sometimes more than adults do. So yeah, listening to the angel whispers through our kids. So
and the children
it sounds
are
like
prophecy. Yes, the children are prophecy. Yes.
If we give them that time just to be able to speak their truth, then it's like we don't even necessarily have to explain it as in detail to them, because they're explaining things to us.
Exactly, because they are the children with the angelic voice, in the spirit within them, and they actually will give you the answer in their own way. But all the drawings that they are drawing for you all, for you, Dr. Arlene, those drawings are prophecy.
Oh, that's so neat.
That they draw is the roots where we always have to look. That's where it starts.
Wow. So all those scrap papers that your kids are drawing on, start looking through those and seeing what messages you might be getting through them, because you might have missed a few. But I mean, just seeing they draw. And it's neat. They love to draw like hearts and stars and everything. So we are just about to wrap up here. Maudy, is there any last message that you would like to tell everyone?
I would love to share with you all that you are all in our hearts, in my heart, in prayer, and know that you are being guided. I will say, look at your strength, never ever the weakness. I will say, dear Lord, please embrace us with your big love so we can rise above. And this is where we have to always look at our faith so our fear will disappear. May you all go in prayer. May all the angels be with you, and let the angels lead the way, but you make sure you have your prey. Okay? Lots of love to all of you. And again, thank you, Dr.
so
Arlene,
much
for making this
possible.
possible. Thank you.
We really appreciate you, and thank you so much for being here. So thank you, all of you, for joining us. This is Dr. Arlene Diamco, the MultiDimensional MD, here to wake up medicine. And our next show will be in a couple of weeks with the secrets of a New York City osteopath, Dr. Lilia Gorodinsky. If you would like, you can get in touch with me through allworldshealth.com and my online academy at allworldshealthacademy.com. I will see you next time. Lots of love to all of you.
Wow, what a show! I feel great already. Don't you all look at health in a whole new light now? If you do, please don't forget to like, comment, and share the show. And you can also watch all of Dr. Arlene's shows on uimediaapp.com. Catch her live every other Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern on WDJY 99.1 FM in Atlanta, Facebook Live, Spreaker, and almost all the podcasting platforms at UI Media Network. You can also write to her at contact@uimedianetwork.org with your questions, concerns, and comments. Like Hippocrates says, everyone has a doctor in him or her. We just have to help it in its work, and Dr. Arlene is here to do just that. The United Intentions Foundation and its associates take no responsibility for the opinions and statements made by the talk show hosts or their guests.